All right, guys, welcome. Now, at this point, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to conduct research online through Google Scholars. And before I go into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to measure impact in an academic world. So, one, you can call it a metric. One way that you can measure success in an academic standpoint is called the H index. The H index was proposed by Jorge Hirsch, who's actually Argentinian. For those of you that complain that sometimes we don't have enough representation um, from Latinos in the scientific community, Jorge Hirsch proposed this idea. And in essence, it's a statistic that can allow us to rank the level of productivity from an academic standpoint of a researcher. There's of course different scientific fields, but for now let's try to focus specifically on the areas of psychology, right? So to give you an idea, you open up Google, and some of you may not even be aware of this tool. You go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar offers an abundance of um, academic papers, academic textbooks, the academic world in here. Not everything is free, but you can take a lot of data from here. And it's overall a good tool to kind of at least get your feet wet, like start to see how this research can be done. Now, I didn't have this when I was an undergrad student, but I did have it when I was a graduate student, but it has been improving over time. So to give you an idea, for example, my mentor at this time that I'm studying is called Murat Shoshanov. He's in the Department of Psychology. I'm sorry, of Education. He's in the Department of Education, but his research has to do a lot of topics of cognition, so he's quite close to the field of psychology in that end. I wrote the name here, and you can see that here we can go to his profile. So you click it in here. This is a picture, of course, that's not him. This is a picture that he put up in there. You can see the most successful articles that he has published. You can see him here. You can see the power, the impact, how many people have followed on those. So 2000, 391, 373, the years in which they were published. Typically, a good study is not going to have an impact right away. So as time, it's like wine. It's somewhat like wine. Like with time, it's going to age better. So a good article is not going to have an immediate impact, but with time it typically gets better. And you can see over here the number of citations and the H index. In essence, is telling you, for example, if you had one article that was cited one time, that's an H index of 1. If you have two articles that were cited 2 times, you had H index of 2. If you had 3 articles that were cited 3 times, H index of 3, and on and on and on. According to the rules that are here, typically an H index of 20 is good, is very good. An H index of 40 is outstanding. An H index of 60 is exceptional. So for example, when we go to my mentor, he has an H index of 23. So it's 23 articles that have been cited at least 23 times. And you can see since 2015, he's actually been quite successful and quite active over the last 5 years. You can see over the last 7 years how the progress is going. Of course, 2020 is slow because it's barely catching up on the research that he has developed lately. So this is, for example, my mentor. Now, when I was in psychology, I had a chance to study an internship at UT Austin. For example, this is one of my mentors over there, Sam Gosling. Just to give you an idea for how successful can it be sometimes. Sam Gosling is a huge name in the field of personality, huge name. And he's working at UT Austin. So for example, his most cited article, Amazon's Mechanical Turk, you can see here cited 10,000 times, and it was published in 2016. So imagine barely in 4 years how much it has generated. Imagine how much it's going to get as time goes by. Citations, 52,000. Like this is a very active and quite a successful researcher. H index of 74. Like how crazy is that? Since 2015, look at his work. Look, it's crazy. Like it's It's crazy. But he's like a super gifted academic. Uh, but like if you wanna really be impressed, I briefly worked with him, but he's like a legend at UT Austin. James Pennebaker. At this point, I think he's retired. Dr. Pennebaker had an article, just one article, that was cited almost like 5,590 times. O sea, he's gonna go to the point that's gonna be like 6,000. Look at this citations, like 88,000 scientific articles that have been published were at one point influenced by his work. An H index of 115. I'm almost sure that he's retired at this point. I strongly think so. But still, look at the H index of the last 5 years, even though his productivity, of course, has diminished a lot because, well, he's not that young anymore. So it's a great measure to understand the impact that a person, a professor, may have. Now, I'm telling you this for a couple of reasons. One is some of you watching this video may be interested in the long run to study outside of, or even if it's within El Paso, but if you want to study even outside of El Paso, maybe you want to get to know the professors in different fields. You already have an interest. You want to apply to grad school, but you don't know who you want to work with. You want to be aware of whose hands are you in. This takes time, guys. But I would strongly advise you that if you haven't done so, start to get involved in research in the field of psychology. Start at UTEP if you can, as research assistants. If you Google UTEP faculty psychology, it's going to take you to the webpage or faculty at the university. So for example, you click, you see Dr. Banger, Dr. Castañeda, Dr. Cohn, Dr. Cooper. So you click on faculty page. Each one of them has a little bit of an overview of what other research interests, some of the sample publications. So for example, you click copy and paste this. Well, here in this case, you can see the article, but assuming that you're looking at a different university and they don't let you see the article, you click on here, you paste it in Google Scholar, and voila, it's going to take you to the article. You click on the PDF, and now you can read the article. It's a good tool if you really want to get to know who you'll be working with, who do you want to get involved with. Good mentorship is essential for your not only academic but also professional success. So take that into account. At this point, now this is going to be it for those of you that are not in my social psychology class. You can finish up the video at this point. For those of you that are in my social psychology class, here's the thing. You're going to have an assignment where you need to follow up on a classic study of social psychology. I listed, and I'm going to upload this. So at the point that you're seeing this video, you should be able to also see the guidelines. There's a list of classic articles. Some of them became even textbooks that have been instituted in the field of social psychology. There's a bunch of them, but for now I'm going to keep it on 9. And the first one, nobody has to do anything because I'm going to do it for you. The thing is, what I want you to do, if you are assigned by the alphabetical letter of your last name an article, say that I'm assigned the first study here, Skacter Singer. I'm going to copy the title. I'm going to take it to Google Scholar. Paste it. Boom. There's the article. When you click on the article there, you can see how many times they have been cited. You can actually access some of the articles. Not all the articles are available. You can see, for example, on those two, some of them you gotta pay for them, but some of them are available. I don't want you guys to go into the classic article. That's not what the goal of this subject of this project is. What I want you to do is to go into where it says cited by, and there's a bunch of articles that follow. I want you to read one of those. You can choose any article that you like. So for example, say that I'm clicking on Sahonk, Feeling and Thinking. I have the article there. I want you guys to read this article. I mean, you can choose any article that you want. Read it and give me a summary. Small, brief summary, about 500 words. And One example is here that I also uploaded this example. So the student here, first of all, gave me a summary of the classical article, the classical study, and then he goes on to say the follow-up studies, and then blah, 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 and starts to describe the whole thing. And it's a simple yet very efficient, very efficient summary. At the end, then you have the references, and you can actually get your references through here. Click on the quotation marks, and you have it in MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver. Click on it, copy, and you can paste it on your page, and that's it. The main goal of this project is for you to, more than anything, have an idea for how to conduct this type of research, at least through Google Scholar, which again can be a helpful tool. And that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Depends on your alphabetical letter is the project that you will be assigned. Cool? Again, if you're watching this and you're not in social psychology, don't worry about that assignment. This is only for my social psychology students. Thank you guys.